To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Filling the water tank again today. Do it every day. Turn on the generator, pump the water from the well into our IBC tank, 275 gallons. I've actually started considering buying another tank. Not really sure I need it. We've done really well without having another tank, but for some reason it's just occurred to me, maybe I should get another tank one of these days. I tell you, I was thinking the other day how nice it is to have endless amount of water from the well. I guess it's because I was a nomad and I recognize how difficult it was to obtain water all the time. And then you always had a limited amount of water. We could only carry about 40 gallons for 2 weeks of water. So, and here, yesterday we used a considerable amount of water. We did a lot of different things, filled the Berkey a couple times and took showers. And it just, we used laundry. So we used, I don't know, probably 125 gallons yesterday, just yesterday alone. And I had no concerns about it. Even if the well didn't work today, I still have another 150 gallons of water that I could use. Plenty of water for the chickens and the garden, just everything we need. I still don't feel like we waste water, but it sure is nice to have it. And I recognize that, you have an endless tap of water. When you don't have water and all of a sudden then you do have water, it's really nice. The second thing is it's all mine. I don't have to pay for it. I built pretty much the whole thing. I mean, we had a hole in the ground, but it was terrible shape. And now it works perfectly after putting my well packer in there and concreting the floor and putting a new well house over it. Little storage shed. And I got water. I mean, I guess the downside is I do have to run it off the solar or generators. I mean, there's a step in there that you don't have to do. You just turn on your tap and you got water. But after living the nomadic life, that is not difficult at all. So I'm just really happy with the way things have turned out over the last year. I know it's not a lot. And I was thinking, I wonder how many people on YouTube think that I'm just dirt poor and I don't have anything. But that's not true. I've got it all. I got the entire world that I need. Got my piece of property, got my chickens, got food, got water, got a house, got heat. I know a lot of people think it's crazy I don't have air conditioning, but we don't need it this year. It's been a very comfortable year for us. Not sure I mentioned this, but we have endless amounts of water. We have water here too. There's water everywhere. And still yet, we got more water here. This water's for the chickens. Look at that. More water. That water's for the garden, which is right here. I tell you, this year is absolutely amazing when it comes to the garden. Now, again, we just kind of did a test garden this year because last year we really didn't have a lot of success with our garden. But this year it's doing wonderful. Look at all those tomatoes popping out. We've had a lot of rain in the last 2 weeks and garden just exploded. We got beans there. I can't tell you everything we got. Carolyn's got it all mapped out. These are peppers and we got cucumbers. And then over here we got watermelon. And then over here, she planted marigolds because that's supposed to keep the wildlife out of the garden. So much better shape this year. And as I've stated before, the reason we're having more success is I cleared this area out last winter. So we got more sunlight in the evening. Now, as I've said in previous videos, this over here, I'm going to clear out this coming winter. And then that'll give us this area to grow corn. And we're going to expand our regular garden also. What we think we're going to do, we're not sure, depends how much we can get cleaned up, is expand it over to here because this gets a lot of sunlight, most of the day actually. My only concern about this is where all the cedar trees were last year. You can see we still got the branches sitting here. And cedar trees stunt the growth of things. So I don't know how well it'll do, how many years we need to have it cleared up of cedar trees before it start growing. See, there was a cedar tree right there. So everywhere you see a mound of brush, that's growth coming around a cedar tree stump. All right, so I wanted to show you our latest gadget that we just got. But before I do that, I want to show you a couple of items Carolyn got out of the garden today. Still a little small. I keep telling her to leave the cucumbers on, but she disagrees, and she says, no, they taste better when they're smaller. So, and they do, they taste great. And then a little tomato. So things are really starting to come along with our garden. And I think tomatoes are really early this year. I remember doing tomatoes, and they would, maybe August, it seemed like. This is July 2nd. Okay, so what I have today is a vacuum sealer. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not a big fan of vacuum sealers. What they do is they come in these bags. You can buy these bags, and then you seal up your whatever. The bags seem to me that they're just not cost effective. I bagged up an entire pig one year, made it all into sausage. We bagged it up, and it just seemed like the bags just made the whole thing unreasonably priced. The bags come in a roll, and it's real simple. You pull out a strip of bag, you close it, and then you have a vacuum and a seal. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to seal that side that's inside there. So you seal it, and then when it's done, all you got to do is cut it. That's a knife. And then you have a bag. So now you can't get your hand into it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this cucumber in there just to show you how it works. Now, again, these bags are terribly expensive. And you got to line it up all correctly. And then you push the vacuum and seal. It's going to make this noise. You can see that it's starting to suck all the air out of it. And so now we have a cucumber that's vacuum sealed in a bag. Now, the reason I struggle with these is I like to do meat with them. I like to vacuum seal meat. The problem is you don't always get a good seal. You got to use a lot more bag to get a good seal. The liquid starts to draw into the sealing area, and so you don't get a vacuum. And you can see that it didn't vacuum seal very well. So I'm not a big fan of these. We went ahead and got it because there's an attachment that I am a fan of. All right, so here's the attachment that I'm talking about. What it is it seals lids, canning lids onto canning jars. And so here I have a canning lid. Now this canning lid is used. And that's the nice thing about this is you can use used canning lids. You wash them up, you save them, and then you can reuse them for this vacuum sealer. Now you never want to use a used lid on pressure canning or water bath canning. So I'm going to demonstrate how to use this. So now I'm going to do the same experiment with a canning jar. Now this is just a spaghetti jar, spaghetti sauce that we bought at the store. You're not supposed to use these when you're canning. So now we have a jar that doesn't waste our regular canning jars, the ones that we can actually use in a pressure canner. So we're going to use this as long as the lid fits on it. Now, what I will tell you is the ring that holds this down does not fit on this jar. So we couldn't use it if we wanted to, but the lid does. So what you do is you put the lid on, you put this device on right here, you open up the sealer, you put the hose on that, put the other end of the hose on that, and you just seal it. Now, the key to this is you don't take the cap off right now. You take the hose off first. That way the seal hits. So you take the hose off, take the cap off, and voila, I'm holding it by the lid. I'm going to turn it upside down, and now you can see that this thing is vacuum sealed in there. This is really good if you're going to use dried items like rice. All this is free. We got this from the store, from our spaghetti sauce. The lids are used from our canning that we use for canning. But you buy these bags and you just went out of price range bagging up all your bulk items from Costco or Sam's Club or whatever. Now, I'm going to try to get my mic close to this so that when I take the lid off, you can hear it. So, now, what's really cool is we have Tattler lids. Now, these are for canning. So if you don't have any used regular lids, this is reusable lids for canning. So all you gotta do is put your ring on the jar, put your lid on the jar, and then repeat the whole process. And once again, it holds perfectly. I'm gonna turn it upside down. We went to a yard sale to buy some mason jars. We got, I think each jar, I think each case, so 12 jars, cost $1. I think we got 6 cases. I mean, it was ridiculously cheap. So we got a bunch of these jars at a yard sale. Well, while we were there, the lady gave us a bunch of mayonnaise jars and different things. And all the jars allow the lids to fit on. So we'll be able to use all those jars to can rice and beans and mashed potato pre-mix that you can buy at the store. Food. Now, the nice thing about this is, I was asking Carolyn, how much rice do you use per meal? She said, well, I use about a cup. Well, a pint is 2 cups. So if she wanted to open one of these jars up with rice, she used half the jar. She can just put the lid back on, reseal it, put it back into storage until the next time she's ready to use it. Of course, that'd be the first one you'd want to use. You can buy them off Amazon, I think, with the bags and this thing. Oh, this also comes in wide mouth, I should say. So I have 2 attachments, one for wide mouth jars and one for regular jars. And then the sealer, I think I got it for 111 bucks, all with the bags. Now the bags is what really ran up the cost. I don't remember what this was, 40 bucks maybe another 30 for that. Carolyn's gonna start drying out food. So I'm gonna make a solar dehydrator sometime. I don't know if I'll do it this year. I've made these kind of boxes before. What it is basically it's a box that has a metal sheet in it. You paint the metal sheet black. You put some plexiglass over it. You can put shelves in it, different things. I used it as a solar heater. I hope I can inspire you to make all your dreams come true. Thanks for watching.